Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. In this video, I have brought you a famous TED Talk by B.M.Hegde titled "Your Health is Governed by Your Environment." And here we are going to have a discussion of the few excerpts, few parts of this important speech. Before that, let's know that this TED Talk was delivered by Dr. B.M.Hegde at IIT Hyderabad conference. In this TED Talk, Dr. Hegde speaks about, he breaks down the misconception about health, and he also leaves us questioning, to ponder, to think what really health means. So, to begin with, how does knowledge advance? So he asks a question saying that how does knowledge advance? So Professor Hegde begins his talk about the advancement of knowledge, and he says that Karl Popper, in his opinion, Karl Popper says that the knowledge advancement by repeating known things, by refuting false dogmas. What's the meaning of knowledge advancement? Knowledge advancement is not by repeating the known things, is by refuting the false dogmas. Then he asks a question, what is health? So Dr. B.M. Hegde gives a definition by called Alma Ata definition of health, which means health is the absence of this disease, that disease, all kind of diseases. So he says that health means what? Health means the absence of any kind of disease. Indian system of Ayurveda for thousands of years had a beautiful definition, which means if you have enthusiasm to work, enthusiasm to work, or mark my words, he says that if you have enthusiasm to work or enthusiasm to be compassionate, that means what? You are healthy. So Indian system of Ayurveda says that if you have enthusiasm to work and you are very compassionate towards work, that means what? You are healthy. So he says on a given day, nobody is totally healthy, which means that nobody is without disease. We can't say. So he asked the question, do I want to go to work today, or have to work to do I have to work? Do I want to go to work? So if you say, or I want to go to work, that means what? You are healthy. The moment you say that, yes, I'm ready, I want to go to work, that means what? I'm healthy. Again, the next question, do I have to be compassionate? If you say yes, that means what? I have to be compassionate. It's a compulsion. I want to be compassionate. So if you want to be compassionate, you are healthy again. So in this manner, Dr. B.M. Hegde, he defines health, or healthy means to say you don't have any disease. Or if you have the disease also, if you say that you are ready to work and you accept that you have compassion, you are compassionate to work, that is also a symbol, that is also a sign that you are healthy, and that is the meaning of health he has brought down to us. Now, the next point he describes here that all myths in the area of health. Dr. Hegde says that when you go and see a doctor, the first thing the doctor asked, did your father have cancer? Did your father have stroke? He had a heart attack? You get frightened. If any one of these is positive, you start dying that day. I may get a cancer, I may get a heart attack, I may get this, I may get that stroke. So you and your parents have nothing in common because you are not come from your parents. Actually, this is the Indian thought. Children do not come, they belong to parents. They come through parents. But our ancestors are not our parents, but the germs. So the world is for the first 2000 billion years was run only by germs, according to B.M. Hegde. And these are the germs which are very compassionate. They donated their DNAs to us to make the first nucleated cell called zygote, if I pronounce properly, that you and I were on the first day we made in the mother's womb. For every single cell of yours, that's human cell, you have 10 germs cells, and all we are all germs. So this is the myths. This is how he talks about the myths around the in the area of health. Then he defines the germs theory. He says that propagated by the Western medicines to use antibiotics as a medicine is the one thing that is killing mankind all over the world because of superbugs. So, no germs are our friends, and germs have brought us here, and we belong to them. So, he says, Dr. Hegde says, you don't have to worry about your family history of this disease, that disease, because there's a big myth which is going to say that your genetic analysis, your genome studies, your genetic engineering steps, stem cell study, preserving your cord blood of your child, preserving your dead body, etc., etc., etc. They're all a multi-billion-dollar industry, and this is the myth. This is a myth he's speaking here as far as the health is concerned. Then he says, what is true today is if you are healthy today, you are lucky. If you're unhealthy today, you are lucky. So he says nothing that you can do to preserve your health or continuous, but one thing is here, health is environmental. Health is not genetic. You are not inherited your health from your parents. That he says that you need to remember. Then how the health is purely environmental. He says in this context we again talk of, and we have been talking about the risk factors: your heart disease, your hypertension, diabetes, body weight, height, weight, mass index, your girth to the abdomen, girth of your, all kinds of things we talk about. And finally we say health is purely environmental, it's not genetic. So there's not anything called risk factor. Even if you remove the risk by intervention, the risk, if anything remains. So even if you remove the risk factor or not, risk always remains. He says that you can remove some risk factor, but you cannot remove the risk. So later he says that, but the only thing that can save you, you need to change your lifestyle. That's what we always learn from the other doctors. A good doctor will always say that you need to change your lifestyle. That's what B.M. Hegde has told quite long back, that you need to change your lifestyle. This is because lifestyle is the biggest environment. Lifestyle is the biggest environment. And what is the environment of human body? The human body is in fact a human body only. E equal to m. So energy is matter and matter is energy as a duality. So you are your body is a holographic projection of a mind, which is called consciousness. Such a nice thing he has mentioned here. You are your body. What is this? It's a holographic projection of a mind. So finally, that is called your consciousness. Then he says that further he says drugs do not treat, drugs create more problem. Drugs here not refers to the drugs, he refers to the medicine. He says the mind is not in the brain as you think and as you practice in psychiatry. We give you drugs when you have some mental problems. These drugs go and affect the brain. When the mind is not there, then the brain gets damaged. So the drugs only damages the brain, only damage the brain, do not treat you. As a matter of fact, these drugs create problem, according to Dr. B.M. Hegde. The mind is the environment of the body. So if you have to get any disease to the mind and to the body, it's again the mind that affects the whole thing. And if you want to get rid of it, you have to change your mind. What do you need to do it here? As he has mentioned earlier also, you need to bring a change. Your lifestyle has to be changed. Similarly, your mindset has to be changed. So in short, mind your mind, and that will mind your illness and wellness. Mind your mind, that will mind your illness and wellness. Thank you so much, Dr. B.M. Hegde. What a nice statement you have mentioned here. Now, what is the most important part of the mind? Your thinking. Remember, what's the most important part of the mind? Your thinking. The most dangerous part of the mind is your arrogance. Remember, I have forgotten to mention here. The most important part of the mind is your thinking. Please note it. I have forgotten to mention here. The most important part of the mind is your thinking. The most dangerous part of the environment of mind is your arrogance, hubris. You know, I, you know, and I. Always remember, I starts with illness. I starts with illness. And this is what he speaks about in his speech here. And in this manner, in this TED talk by Dr. B.M. Hegde, titled Your Health is Governed by Your Environment. So he has spoken, he has broken down, he breaks down the misconceptions of a health. We have a lot of misconceptions of a health, that I have this disease because my father has, because my mother has, right? He says that it's all because of the environment of the mind, right? Then he leaves us with a question. He says that now you have to think about this question, that what health actually means. So, dear friends, this is how I have tried to bring up few excerpts from the speech. I have not spoken about the whole speech, but few important segments of Dr. B.M. Hegde's important speech titled "Your Health is Governed by Your Environment." Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, write in the comment box. Click on the like button. Subscribe the channel. Thank you once again.